Hey everybody, so this week I wanted to help another YouTuber that left a comment, which if you guys want to leave a comment and you have questions about your setup, I have no problem making a video. It's pretty fun, and I wanted to try something new with OBS. I'm recording horizontal and vertical at the same time. Maybe that's going to be helpful, but this is pretty cool. I'm going to jump into the iPad, which is actually my iPhone, until I figure out how to use my iPad. This is pretty cool though. It'll just automatically switch. So Gareth, your setup's pretty good. Like it looks good. For this, maybe a little bit brighter on your key light. I mean, you have your hair light, you know, the hair light's coming down here. It's like probably right on top of you, and then your key light is at a really good angle over here. So nothing too crazy. I would say maybe having like these lights over here are giving you know, a little bit warmer light. So maybe if you had your hair light coming in from this side and it was the same color as this, it might be kind of cool. Just something. Really, you're out there making content, doing video, you're already there. Like this is just maybe a little extra thing to make it look a little bit nicer, but no, you're good there. This setup, I mean, the windows are outside are pretty bright, but there's movies that they expose the same way, so there's nothing too bad about this one. The only thing I would say is maybe your headroom is like really tight. You want to make sure that you give yourself a good amount of headroom, even when you're cropping in. So that's a pretty easy fix, but that's great. Let's keep going here. These look awesome, but there's no hair light. I don't know if you want a hair light. You don't need it. Hair lights, to me, they just up production value, but it's definitely like, oh, they're, you know, we're trying to look a certain way. I got one blasting on me right now. So and I love the Gobo. I think I have the same Gobo, but I'm using blinds instead. But the one thing, if you don't need to add the hair light, but you want to be careful with consistency. Maybe this is something you care about, but you can tell like the very beginning of the video, it's like really bright outside, and then by the end the windows are really dark. So you might want to get like maybe better blinds or curtains or something, so it's consistent the whole shoot. But yeah, so for this, maybe a hair light if you want. The framing's good, and then maybe curtains if you want more consistency. One tiny little thing that isn't a huge deal, but when you have your camera set up, and I'm not a good example because I'm shooting into a corner, but if you want to shoot onto a straight wall, you want to make sure your camera is perpendicular to that wall. So if it's slightly panned left or right, your angles and lines are going to look all wonky. So like right now, you can see your windows. Like if you drew a line across, let's see, maybe I can get a shape here, and we wanted to do a straight shape, you can see that it's not straight. You know, the camera's slightly tilted. So you want to try to use levels that are built in the camera or something to kind of create these straight lines a little bit. I think your desk might be a little off too, but definitely the window. So it's just slightly off, but yeah, even the vertical lines. Sometimes the vertical lines might not be you know, bad, but when it starts getting tilty like that, that's when you want to be careful. So I would say first try to, you know, perpendicular, and then level out your shot, and then not just level the shot, you need to look at the lines, like maybe, you know, try to make sure they're really straight across, and panning left and right throws that out the window. So if you're shooting into a corner, don't even think about it. Just try to aim for your vertical lines. So as long as the vertical lines are straight, it's gonna look good. So yeah, that's all about this. So really what I'm gonna do here is, and this is, you might not even be in the same location, I don't know, these were not really good. I'm so sorry for picking these, but I want to help you figure out like maybe a side angle or something. You don't really need it, but just for getting a better side angle might be kind of cool to do, because you don't really need that much help with your main setup. So I'm going to try to create kind of one of these middle two, and then I'm going to add a hair light so you can see what that looks like, and then I'm going to add a second camera angle so you can see what that looks like too. Let's jump in. All right, so this is probably not my best work. This blue did not come out right. I think it was a little bit less. There we go. Okay, so first thing first, we gotta straighten out that camera. So having it straight. And then the other thing I would do, I would try to maybe get some symmetry in the room. So maybe put yourself right in between the windows. And that's just a taste thing. This is all going to be just my taste stuff, because really, you're already doing a great job. This is what I would do with the hair light. If it will show us. Whoa, why is it doing that? I would aim it a little bit more down. There we go. It doesn't need to bounce off the screen or anything. But this is just to kind of pretend like the windows are doing it, but it's just a really light white light coming in from the edge. So that's there. And then our key light, let's see what that's doing. I would warm this one up just a little bit, maybe like 52. And this is really cranked up. We have the ISO so low to compensate for the windows. So if you didn't want to do that and you just like got rid of the windows with like curtains or something, so you had full control, then let me see if I can block them out with some curtains. Here, we'll just do this one. Okay. Okay, so say you had a curtain back there, maybe a better color. Maybe we do like a darker green or something like that. That might be kind of cool. Oh, maybe that's too much green because of the plants. So maybe we do go with like a red or something, maybe like red, blue, green. I don't know. You know what? Maybe just some blinds that are going to just perfectly block it. Even if they don't, I think just getting the symmetry lined up. I didn't know what this was on the left, if it was a cabinet or something, but having more control would be better. Let's just pretend like these aren't here anymore. And I'll just put like, if you had really good blinds, and then it's just like, just to mark where they are. Come on, where should I get? There we go. Okay. I mean, sometimes it's cool to show the daylight, but I'll just put that one there and make another one. Okay, so we have a little bit more symmetry. Let me move this stupid phone out of the way. I do love that you have foreground stuff, like that's awesome. Like having like little flowers and stuff or whatever you had here was great. I would definitely move your laptop though, either off to the side, either just for this shot, and then maybe for your other shot you can put it back when you're doing work and stuff. But yeah, this is just kind of, we can add another camera angle to do that. So for onto the other camera angle, I would keep shadow towards camera still. So if we go here, that means that the shadow side is what's shown to the camera, and then the light is showing here. You had a good placement with your main camera, like kind of shooting not too high, not too low, just low enough that it gives you a little bit of authority, and it just looks cool. But yeah, you know, you could just place it off 45-degree angle, boom, and it's like you're doing work. And then depending on if you like being on the left side of the screen, then you want to look towards wherever you're going to put your work when you're doing work on the screen. So this would be like a little circle, and then you would have all of the work on the right side of the screen, and then you just flip the camera angle if you wanted to. But yeah, always try to make sure your camera's leveled, not going too far up or too far down, no crazy angles. You can even zoom in a little bit too if you want, and then just raise it a little bit to give you just that much headroom. This would be pretty cool if you had this angle, I think. And then the hair light kind of just adds to it. Great gobo as well. I love the gobo in this shot. Yeah, nothing really, just keep your foreground, keep doing all that, keep the camera angle, everything you're doing is great. Maybe add a hair light if you want to. You can clamp it to something in the background. Usually I use these clamps all the time for lights, and you can get like a little tiny light. Doesn't even have to be a crazy big light for the hair light. And then yeah, make your camera straight, all that. And then if you want your other angle, just make sure that one's straight, maybe zoom in a little bit, and do it off the angle, almost like where your key light is, mirror it where the camera is, and then put it on the other side. And I think that would look pretty cool as like you're working with me kind of thing. But yeah, I hope this kind of helped. Again, you don't really need anything, you don't need to change anything. This is just kind of like what I would do, a little bit of my taste in it. But no, great job. And I guess I'll see y'all next time.